Revealed. My daughter's incredible reaction to a hidden gift from my parents left us all in tears. Lucy stumbled upon the letter while clearing out the dusty attic, its edges frayed and yellowed with age. The moment she opened it, emotions surged within her: guilt, pride, and an unyielding love. It was from her parents, retired military veterans who had secretly been saving for years. They wanted Bella, her bright and imaginative daughter, to attend a prestigious summer arts camp. Tears filled Lucy's eyes as she read the words expressing their dreams for Bella, a chance they never had. A chance Lucy never thought she could afford. She cherished her little home in Ohio, each corner filled with memories and laughter. But the weight of financial struggle was heavy. 2 part-time jobs barely kept them afloat. The thought of needing help gnawed at her pride. She swallowed hard, wishing for a way to maintain the strong, independent image she so desperately wanted to uphold. Days passed after the letter discovery, tensions simmering beneath the surface. One evening, Bella accidentally overheard Lucy and her mother discussing their financial woes. The worried look on Bella's face tore at Lucy's heart. "Mom, am I a burden?" Bella whispered, tears pooling in her wide, innocent eyes. Those words, simple yet cutting, sent a lightning bolt of realization through Lucy. She was so focused on protecting Bella from the world's harshness that she had forgotten the strength that comes from accepting help and support. In the quiet of their cozy living room, Lucy felt trapped. Should she return the letter to her parents, believing it was the right decision? She was caught between wanting to shield Bella from these difficult conversations and acknowledging the sacrifices her parents made for their family. Lucy held the letter tightly, her heart a battlefield of emotions. That very night, she returned the letter to her parents' home, convinced it was the best thing to do. When Bella discovered the letter hidden under the pile of old photos, her heart sank. Betrayal washed over her like a chilling wave. Over coffee on the porch, Bella approached Lucy, visibly shaken. "Mom, accepting help doesn't mean we're weak. It shows we're a family." Her words struck deeply, as if they reached right into Lucy's soul. Lucy's heart raced as she wrestled with her choices. The tears flowed freely, mixing hope and shame. Can vulnerability bind them closer? Would leaning on family mean admitting defeat? Underneath the starlit sky, they huddled together, sharing stories and openly expressing their fears. Each shared word drew them closer, revealing the beauty of accepting help amid struggle. But just as they began to find solace, Lucy's phone buzzed insistently in her pocket, a call from her father's doctor, urgency rippling through their cozy moment. Panic seized her chest. Could she truly rely on her parents' love when their health was uncertain? The uncertainty loomed, leaving an unsettling question hanging in the air, a cliffhanger that held all their fates in balance. What would Lucy choose in the face of all-encompassing love and imminent loss? The night was alive with possibilities, but a storm brewed on the horizon, and the will of one mother to embrace family might just alter the course of their lives. Lucy's heart raced as she answered the phone, her hands trembling slightly. The doctor's calm voice contrasted sharply with the storm of emotions swirling inside her. "Mrs. Callahan, I'm calling about your father. We need to discuss his recent test results." Each word felt like a weight, pressing down on her chest. She could feel Bella looking at her, concern etched across her young face. I'm on my way," Lucy managed to say, her voice hoarse. She hung up, fear snaking through her. Bella climbed onto the couch, small and fragile, as if the unsaid fears hung between them like a dark cloud. "Mom, is Grandpa okay?" Bella's voice cracked with worry, and Lucy felt another wave of guilt wash over her. Did she really want to burden her daughter with the weight of adult worries? But the truth was, how could she shield Bella from the impending storm when everything felt so uncertain? After a moment of silence, Lucy drew in a shaky breath. "We need to go see him. Right now." Bella nodded, her eyes wide with understanding, and the two of them slipped on their shoes, bracing themselves against the chilly evening air. During the drive, the world outside blurred by. Lucy's thoughts spun in circles, grappling with what the doctor's words could mean for her father, for their family. Would he still be there to support Bella's dreams? To share those precious, magical summer days? As they pulled up to her parents' house, the familiar big white porch light flickered warmly, but even the glow felt muted, somehow less inviting. Lucy took Bella's hand, squeezing it tightly, as they walked toward the door. Her mother answered, her expression worn yet determined. "P.S. in the living room." The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken fears. Lucy steeled herself and entered the room. Her father sat in his favorite chair, a blanket draped across his lap. The fight had disappeared from his eyes, replaced by a fragility that brought tears to Lucy's own. "Hey, Dad," she said softly. He looked up, and for a moment, the old glint of humor shone in his eyes. "Lucy, I see you brought the sunshine with you." But the jest felt thin, almost like a mask. Bella rushed forward, throwing her arms around her grandfather. "I love you, Grandpa," she exclaimed, the innocence of her voice cutting through the faint tension. Lucy felt a warmth spread in her chest. This connection was precious. As they settled around him, the conversation turned serious. The words treatment, challenges, and support drifted in and out like waves crashing on the shore. With each reference to upcoming hurdles, Lucy's heart sank deeper. Later, as Bella and her grandmother prepared hot chocolate in the kitchen, Lucy pulled her father aside in the living room. "Can I ask you something, Dad?" He nodded, concern crossing his features. "If things get tough, you won't give up on us, will you?" A moment stretched like an elastic band between them before he answered. "I'll fight tooth and nail for this family, Lucy. Don't you ever think otherwise." His words filled her with relief, yet the uncertainty still smoldered like an ember refusing to die. As the night wore on, they shared stories that bounced between laughter and tears, the kind that only families can weave together. Bella's laughter echoed like a bomb, erasing the heaviness, even if just temporarily. But as Lucy glanced at her father, battling bravely against the shadow of illness, she realized that the true fight was just beginning. She had to find a way to balance her pride and the safety net her parents had so generously laid out. The night clung to them with a bittersweet comfort, each moment reminding her of how much was at stake. Lucy's thoughts raced. Could she truly accept the help she so desperately needed? The little girl's worrying gaze lingered in her mind. As they prepared to leave, Bella climbed into her mother's embrace, eyes bright with unquenchable hope. The question loomed larger than ever. How could they support one another through the storm on the horizon? The sky was painted with the darkest clouds as they stepped outside, Lucy's heart heavy, but deep within, a flicker of resolve ignited. Perhaps facing challenges together was the true measure of strength. What if love could mend the fractures cast by fear? With a shiver of anticipation, Lucy realized it wasn't just about her father's health, it was about healing their family bonds in the face of adversity. Would they rise together? Would they lean on each other? Or would the weight prove too heavy? All these uncertainties lingered in the very air they breathed, as the storm began to unravel just beyond the horizon. The sky was deepening into an indigo blue as Lucy and Bella climbed into the car, the chill of the evening creeping in. Lucy glanced at her daughter, her heart aching. Bella's innocence was a stark contrast to the storm winding its way through their lives. She was too young to understand everything, yet felt the weight of it all. "Mom?" Bella's voice broke the silence, pulling Lucy from her thoughts. "Do you think Grandpa will be okay?" Lucy inhaled sharply, struggling to find words that wouldn't shatter Bella's delicate hope. "I think he's gonna fight just like he always has." It was the best she could do, the truth resting heavy against her tongue. Those words felt necessary yet hollow, leaving her feeling fragile in return. Bella seemed to accept the answer, her small nod stirring a deeper concern in Lucy. What if fighting wasn't enough? What if the battle was too fierce? The endless questions gripped her tightly, their shadows lurking just beneath the surface. Once home, they stepped into the warm embrace of familiarity. The sounds of their little house were both comforting and disquieting. The refrigerator hummed, the fans stirred softly, and the clinking of dishes from the kitchen was a reassuring rhythm. Lucy stood there a moment longer, allowing the room's warmth to seep into her bones, pushing against the anxiety that gnawed at her insides. "Mom, can we make a card for Grandpa?" Bella's enthusiasm broke through the stillness. There it was again, that light at the end of a dark tunnel. "Of course, sweetheart," Lucy replied, a smile creeping onto her lips despite her heartache. The two settled at the kitchen table, scattered supplies echoing the colors of hope. Crayons, scissors, and papers filled the space, their bright hues a stark contrast to the muted feelings in Lucia's heart. Bella immersed herself in doodles and careful stickers, her tiny lips curving upward as she called out stories about what sorts of adventures Grandpa would have once he got better. "Like sailing to the treasure island?" Bella said excitedly, her eyes sparkling with imagination. "Exactly. And he'll bring back the biggest treasure of all," Lucy added, her voice dulling with the weight of reality even as she forced a smile. "A treasure chest filled with stories." "Stories?" Bella asked, her pencil pausing mid-stroke. "Like the ones about how he rescued that puppy, or the time he wrestled a bear." Lucy chuckled softly, her heart warming slightly at the memories. "Those will be the first ones he tells. Promise." As they crafted the card together, Lucy felt something shift in her chest, a tightening grip loosening ever so slightly. This shared moment became an anchor amidst the uncertainty. She watched Bella carefully draw, her innocence a soft reminder of hope. Perhaps love could write its own story, even in the midst of fear. When the card was finished, it became a burst of color against the darker clouds outside. Bright letters spelled out "We love you, Grandpa," surrounded by doodles of hearts and stars. "Do you think this will make him smile?" Bella asked, tilting her head with uncertainty. "Absolutely. It's perfect." Lucy felt a swell of pride looking at the work they had done. In the simplest of things, she realized they could find strength together. As they stood side by side at the door, ready to head back to her parents' house, Lucy felt a flicker of courage ignite within her. She glanced down at Bella's hopeful face, then back to the card in her hand. But as they stepped outside, the wind shifted, stirring stronger gusts that echoed her many fears. What lay ahead felt even more uncertain now than before. As they drove toward her parents' house, Lucy's mind raced anew. What if the power of their love could truly shine through even the darkest of days? What if this was all taking them somewhere they hadn't planned on going, somewhere wonderful? With a mix of fear and resolve, Lucy held her daughter's hand tightly and whispered, "We'll face it together, Bella." Yet beneath that promise lay deep apprehensions. The unwavering question hovered like a storm cloud. When the moment of truth arrived, would they be ready to face the reality of what lay ahead? The drive was quiet, save for the gentle hum of the engine and the occasional rustle of Bella shifting in her seat. Lucy stole glances at her daughter, who was still clutching the card with one hand, her other hand wrapped around the new stuffed animal they had picked up earlier. It was a fuzzy bear, with big button eyes that seemed to look right into Lucy's heart, reminding her of the warmth that family bonds bring even on the chilliest of days. As they approached her parents' home, a wave of familiarity washed over Lucy. The old oak tree swayed gently in the breeze, its leaves whispering secrets of resilience and strength. Memories flooded back, running around the yard as a child, collecting acorns, crafting little treasures with her mother. It was a home filled with laughter, but tonight it felt muted, shaded with an unspoken shadow of uncertainty. "Mom," Bella broke the silence, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you think Grandpa will cry when he sees my card?" Lucy paused, her heart squeezing at the thought. "Sometimes, sweetie, people cry when they feel really happy or really sad. It's just their way of showing how much they care." Bella's brow furrowed in thought. "So if he cries, it means he loves it and us, right?" "Yes, exactly," Lucy replied, her voice softening. She saw understanding washing over Bella's face, and it sent a surge of warmth through her. At that moment, Lucy realized that even amidst their struggles, their love for each other was unwavering, a guiding star in murky skies. As they parked and climbed out of the car, the cool air kissed Lucy's cheeks. She took Bella's small hand in hers, crossing the yard that felt like it held generations of memories. Each step echoed a rhythm of hope, tinged with anxiety. Her mother, Sarah, would be waiting inside, likely wrestling with her own emotions. The bond of family was both a comfort and a reminder of their situation's weight. Entering the house, they were greeted by the fragrant aroma of chicken soup simmering in the kitchen. The inviting smell hit Lucy like a warm hug. Her mother stood at the stove, stirring the pot, and turned with a flourish. "There you are." Sarah's smile flickered with concern upon noticing the tightness in Lucy's features. "Hi, Mom," Lucy managed, forcing the smile to meet her mother's gaze. "I'm so glad you're here. Your father is upstairs, trying to nap before family arrives." Her mother's smile faded slightly. "He said he couldn't sleep at all today," Lucy nodded, squeezing Bella's hand tighter as they stepped further inside. "Let us get settled, and then we can go up together," Lucy suggested gently. "Yes, I want to surprise him." Bella bounced on her toes, her excitement palpable. Lucy shot her mother a look filled with unspoken words. "We have something for him," she said. "Oh?" Sarah's eyebrows lifted. "What is it?" "The card we made." Bella chimed in, her youthful brightness lighting the dim corners of the kitchen. "Wonderful." Sarah beamed, her heartwarming smile briefly illuminating the heaviness they all felt. As they climbed the stairs, a hush fell over the house. Every step seemed to echo their uncertainty. Once they reached the door, Lucy paused. The lump in her throat felt impossibly heavy. Could they truly prepare for the moment that lay before them? She looked down at Bella, whose eyes were wide with anticipation. With a nod of reassurance, Lucy turned the knob and gently pushed the door open. Inside, the room was dim, with only a faint light piercing through the curtains. Grandpa lay in bed, looking smaller than she remembered. As he turned to them, the warmth in his smile seemed to radiate through the shadows. "Hey there," he said with a soft smile, but the fatigue in his eyes was undeniable. Bella stepped forward, card held tightly in both hands. "Grandpa, look what I made for you." Lucy's heart raced as she watched Bella's small feet carry her closer. What would happen when he saw it? Would it be the moment of joy they all longed for, or would it pull them deeper into the heart of their fears? The question hung in the air, saturated with hope and anxiety, as Bella held out the card, a vibrant beacon in the muted room. But then, before anything could unfold, Lucy noticed a glimmer of something metallic buried beneath the sheets. It caught her eye, raising questions that sent a chill down her spine. What was that? Was it a hidden gift, or something more telling? Her breath caught as curiosity seeped in, weaving a new layer of tension into the moment. What lay in store for them next? The silence enveloped the room, thick and heavy, as Lucy stepped forward. Her gaze flicked between Bella's eager eyes and the mysterious glimmer beneath the sheets. The uncertainty twisted her stomach, making her heart race. What if this was a bad sign? "Mom?" Bella's voice broke through the tension. The innocence in her tone brought a wave of comfort. She seemed completely unaware of the weight that had settled in the air. "Yes, sweetie?" Lucy managed, forcing her eyes away from the sheets. She needed to focus on this moment on Bella and Grandpa. "Is Grandpa going to like my card?" Bella asked again, her hope shining bright, just like the colors on the card she had meticulously crafted. "Of course," Lucy replied, her voice warmer now. "Let us show it to him." With a deep breath, Lucy moved closer to the bed, holding Bella's little hand firmly. "Here you go, Dad. Bella made you something special," she said, a sense of urgency pushing her to keep the moment bright. Bella held out the card, her small fingers trembling slightly as she presented it to her grandpa. The familiar crinkles cradled a masterpiece of childish drawings: a rainbow, a smiling sun, and bright hearts scribbled with love. "Wow, look at this!" Grandpa exclaimed with genuine admiration. The weariness in his expression almost lifted as he focused on Bella and her creation. "You've outdone yourself, sweetheart." As his eyes scanned the colorful creation, Lucy felt a sliver of relief, her fears easing for just a moment. But the metallic glimmer still nagged at her, lurking just outside her peripheral vision, waiting to be addressed. Bella's eyes sparkled as she explained her art. "I drew this for you, Grandpa. It's to cheer you up." See? This is the sun, and it makes everything better. For a brief moment, Grandpa grinned wider than Lucy had seen in days, and it felt like a surge of warmth filling the room. "You're my sunshine, Bella," he said softly, his voice trembling with emotion. But as laughter bubbled up, piercing through the air, Lucy found herself tearing between joy and anxiety. Just then, Grandpa's expression shifted. He glanced at the quilt over him, his brow furrowing slightly. The glint of metal caught his attention too. "Bella, why don't you help me see this card better?" he suggested, motioning for her to come closer. Lucia's heart raced again as she noticed the way Grandpa's fingers cautiously moved the quilt. What if this turned the moment into something unexpected? She braced herself for whatever revelation might emerge. With careful movements, he revealed what had been hidden. A polished silver locket lay beneath the fabric, glistening softly in the faint room light. Lucy felt her breath hitch. It was not just any locket. It was the one her mother had worn for years, one that held some of their family history, a family tree engraved delicately on the surface. Lucy felt an aching pull in her chest. Why was it here? Her mind whirled as myriad questions filled her thoughts. Was it a keepsake for Bella? Something to pass down? Or was it a sign of Grandpa's dwindling health? Something for her to grasp onto as a memory to cling to? "Grandpa, is this?" Lucy's voice quivered slightly, uncertainty heavy in her tone. He nodded slowly, his eyes softening. "I've been keeping it safe. Thought it was time to share it with you." As confusion mingled with a flicker of sorrow, the warmth of the moment flickered. Bella's laughter faded, her small hands still clutching the card tightly. Would sharing the locket bring the family closer together, or would it reveal deeper sorrows that they weren't ready to face? Lucia's heart raced, pressing on her mind like a seed of curiosity. As she looked into her father's eyes, she understood they were on the brink of something monumental. "Can you tell us about it?" she finally asked, her curiosity outweighing her trepidation. And as the words escaped her lips, Lucy felt the weight of family history rising to take center stage. What stories awaited them? Would they be met with joy, or would the revelations bring forth the shadows they had tried to navigate? The atmosphere shifted once more, a mix of anticipation and unease rippling through them, raising the stakes of their reunion higher than ever. What hidden truths and profound connections would unveil themselves next? Grandpa's fingers traced the smooth outline of the locket as if he were revisiting an old friend. Lucia's heart beat loudly in her chest, each thud echoing the anticipation that filled the dimly lit room. Bella, oblivious to the tension, leaned closer, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Can I hold it, Grandpa?" Bella asked, her voice sweet and innocent. Grandpa hesitated for just a moment. "Of course, my little sunshine," he replied, his tone softening. He handed the locket to her, and Lucy noticed the way his gaze flickered with both pride and a hint of sadness. For Bella, the locket was a treasure. She turned it over in her small hands, examining the intricate design. "What's in it?" she asked, tilting her head, her little eyebrows knitted together in thought. "It's a secret," he said with a gentle smile, though Lucy could almost feel the heaviness in the air. "But it's a secret about our family, something that bonds us together." Lucy drew in a breath, holding onto the moment as if it were the last breath of summer before autumn's chill arrived. She glanced at Bella, who was now peering into the locket's clasp, her small face lit with the glow of discovery. What kind of bond? Bella's voice was a thread connecting them, innocent yet profound. Grandpa placed his hands carefully on Bella's shoulders, grounding them all. "It tells the stories of those who came before us. Stories of love, courage, and togetherness. You see, this locket once belonged to your great-grandma. She passed down her stories through it." A slight smile broke on Bella's face, and Lucy felt her heart swell. The heaviness began to lift, replaced by an unexpected warmth, as if the past was embracing them all, giving them the strength to face whatever lay ahead. "Can you tell us one of those stories?" Bella asked, her voice sweet and determined. Her father's gaze softened, And Lucy knew this was the moment to lean into what is often hidden, the stories they never spoke about, the emotions they often bottled up. Sure, when your great-grandma was young, she faced many challenges. But she always believed in love. That love is what kept our family together. What kind of challenges? Bella pressed, her curiosity radiant. Before Grandpa could answer, Grandma, who had been silently sitting in the corner, spoke up. Challenges that would make you brave, Bella. Challenges that teach us who we are. Lucy could see the hesitation in her father's eyes. The truth felt like a fragile whisper. Would sharing these stories strengthen their bond or splinter it further? I remember the time your great-grandma held a small picnic in the yard during a huge storm. Grandpa began, bringing a nostalgic laughter to his voice. We were all worried, but she told us a storm couldn't steal our joy. We set up the picnic inside and ate peanut butter sandwiches while the rain danced down the windows. The room filled with a soft laughter, the kind that seemed to push back the shadows, even if just for a moment. Bella's giggle rang out, pure and infectious. What happened after that? Bella's eyes sparkled with mischief now. Grandpa grinned at her enthusiasm. After that, we learned that storms are temporary. It is the sunshine that will always return. Just like your drawings, Bella. Your sunshine always comes through. Lucy felt a rush of emotion. Was this what they needed? An opening for deeper conversations? Just then, Grandpa lifted the locket again, looking intently at the intricate details. It holds pictures, pictures of moments that made us who we are. When it's time, Bella, I promise I'll show you. My promises last forever, Bella declared. Her small hand wrapped tightly around the locket, and in that moment, Lucy felt the weight of their legacy shifting, welcoming joy into their lives. Yet, a question nagged at Lucy's mind. How far would they go down this path of remembrance? Would these stories echo with recovery or ripple with regret? As the warmth of the moment settled, Lucy couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. What deeper stories lay buried, waiting for the right moment to be unearthed? Without warning, the door creaked open, and a familiar face appeared, someone Lucy never expected to see again. The atmosphere shifted once more, the possibilities endless and unnerving. What would this unexpected visitor reveal about their family history? The door swung open, and in walked Aunt Clara. A gasp escaped from Lucy's lips. She hadn't seen her in years. Aunt Clara had always been the free spirit of the family, off traveling the world and living life to the fullest. But something in her eyes hinted at a weight she now carried. Clara. Grandpa's voice shook slightly, a mix of surprise and something deeper, perhaps regret or longing. He rose slowly, stepping toward her, his brow furrowed with emotions that must have been complicated. Surprise. Aunt Clara beamed, though her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Bella, still holding the locket, looked from her grandpa to Aunt Clara, unknowing of the emotional currents swirling in the room. What are you doing here? Lucy asked, her heart racing with questions. So much had happened since Clara last stood under their roof. I came to visit, Aunt Clara said, her voice steady yet fragile. And I come bearing gifts. She stepped aside slightly, revealing a small metal suitcase. It looked a bit worn, as if it had traveled many miles, much like its owner. What kind of gifts? Bella asked, her curiosity rekindled like a flame. Gifts that hold stories, Aunt Clara replied, glancing at the locket Bella held. Stories just like the ones your grandfather is telling. A hush settled over the room as Grandma moved toward Clara, a wary affection in her gaze, with years of shared memories etched into their faces. You've been gone a long time, Grandma pointed out gently, as if weighing the years of absence. Aunt Clara nodded slowly. I know, but I've missed you all. It's time to share some things I've learned on my travels. Secrets about our family I didn't even know until recently. Lucy felt a shiver run through her. What do you mean? There was an edge to her curiosity, an urgency that pushed forward. Inside the suitcase is something I found. It belonged to great-grandma. Clara opened it carefully, and the contents glinted under the soft light, a collection of old photographs. Letters neatly tied with a faded ribbon, and a dusty vintage journal that looked like it had seen too many lives. The room felt charged with energy, every pair of eyes drawn to Clara and what lay inside. I found these while going through some old family documents during my last trip, she continued, her voice trembling slightly. There are stories here, stories you won't believe, things about our family that weren't shared. A mixture of excitement and apprehension danced in the air. Lucy's heart raced. Would these revelations reveal the family's true history, or cause fractures they couldn't mend? Grandpa stepped closer, his eyes fixated on the journal. Did you read them? His voice quivered, a father's concern meeting the daunting shadows of the past. I've read enough, Aunt Clara replied, her face serious. And I think it's time we all hear them together. Bella clutched the locket tighter, her expression showing a blend of childhood innocence and tinged eagerness. Are there adventures? Can we be heroes too? Lucy's gaze flicked back and forth between her family members and Aunt Clara. The door to their collective history had opened wide, and she could feel an invisible force drawing her in. What hidden truths would drive the family closer or push them apart? As Clara began to unfold the first letter, the answers floating in the room felt like whispers of the past blending with their present. Just then, a sharp sound echoed from the back of the room. They all turned to see something shifting, a shadow stirring just outside their view. Lucy's breath quickened. What more was waiting to be uncovered? What did this new visitor mean for the stories yet to be shared? The moment of silence seemed to stretch like a taut string, and then another movement flickered at the edge of the doorway. Lucy squinted into the dim light, her heart pounding like a drum. What the heck had she seen? She held her breath as the shadow moved again, a figure stepping cautiously into the room. Dad? A soft voice called from behind the partially open door. It was Emily, her older sister. Unannounced, a wave of relief washed over Lucy. They hadn't seen each other in months. Lucy dashed over, wrapping her arms around her sister. I didn't know you were coming. Emily hugged her back, her warmth a comforting anchor amidst the uncertainty in the room. The weight of their family's history paled in comparison to the love they shared. I wasn't planning to, Emily admitted, glancing at Aunt Clara, who watched silently, her suitcase poised between them like a bridge connecting disparate worlds. But Mom texted me, said you guys needed me. Needed her? Grandma echoed quietly, her eyes shifting from Emily to Clara. An unspoken question lingered in the air. Aunt Clara smiled gently. Emily, I'm glad you are here. There's so much to share, and the secrets I found are intertwined with all our lives. Emily leaned in closer, curiosity piqued. What's in the suitcase? Stories. Family stories, Clara replied, lightly touching the journal. What kind of stories? A hint of skepticism laced Emily's voice. Is it some wild adventure? I'd say there's plenty of both adventure and truths that might not sit well, Aunt Clara admitted, her countenance turning somber. Some are painful, but they are ours to hear, to understand. We can't move forward unless we grapple with what's been hidden. Emily's expression softened, and Lucy caught the flicker of apprehension crossing her sister's face. She could sense the undercurrents of fear ripple through the room. Should we really go there? Emily asked, glancing at Grandpa. I don't know if I'm ready for more family drama. Before Grandpa could respond, Clara reached into the suitcase and pulled out a faded photograph. She held it up for everyone to see. This is your great-grandma on her wedding day. The image depicted a long-gone woman dressed in white, surrounded by a cast of familiar faces. What? Lucy leaned forward, intrigued. Who were those people? Aunt Clara held the photo closer, squinting as if trying to recall lost memories. Some are relatives I've never met. Others I barely know their names. But each one has a story worth telling. What if we like some of these stories more than others? Bella piped up, clearly fascinated. What if they change how we see ourselves? Exactly. Clara's gaze remained steady. That's why we need to listen. Tension lingered in the air as they all took in her words. What truths would those stories unearth? Just as Clara began to unfold more photographs, another noise echoed from behind. This time it was unmistakably louder, almost a thud. Instinctively, Everyone turned their heads toward the back door, anxiety creeping in again. Lucy exchanged a startled glance with Emily. "What is happening?" Clara shifted uneasily, her confident demeanor faltering. "I'll check it out," Grandpa said, and before anyone could protest, he moved towards the sound. "What if it's something bad?" Lucy whispered, though she was uncertain what bad could mean now. Before anyone could respond, the door creaked open fully, and a gust of wind rushed in, scattering loose papers on the floor, mingling the past's whispers with the present. The door had been opened. Would the shadows lingering in the corners finally step into the light? Lucy hesitated, entranced by the fleeting connection of their family's history that lay open before her. Clara was about to reveal something profound, and all their futures might change with the next words spoken. But would they be ready for what was to come? The door swung wide, and the wind howled through the room, rattling the papers that twirled around their feet like autumn leaves. Lucy felt a chill run down her spine, and her eyes darted between her family, searching for reassurance. Grandpa stood still, peering into the darkness beyond the doorway, a mix of courage and concern etched on his face. "Hello?" he called, his voice steady but laced with a hint of uncertainty. Silence followed, thick and heavy. It filled the room, wrapping around each member of the family. Lucy could almost hear their collective breaths, holding back the anxious questions that danced on the tip of their tongues. What lay hidden beyond that door? "Maybe it's just the wind," Emily whispered, though her voice trembled slightly. "I don't know," Lucy murmured, instinctively gripping Emily's arm tighter. "Feels like something else." Just then, Clara cleared her throat, her demeanor shifting from apprehension to determination. "Listen, I know this is overwhelming for all of us. But whatever is waiting outside that door, we're stronger together." "Together," Bella echoed softly, and for a moment, the power of those words connected them, grounding their fears in a sense of unity. Grandpa inched toward the threshold, straining his eyes into the dark. "I'll be right back. Stay close," he instructed, and with a final glance back at the family, he stepped through the door. The room felt emptier without him, as if he had pulled a thread and unraveled something they would need to piece back together. As they waited in the silence, Lucy's heart raced. The photographs on the table and the suitcase beside Clara seemed to pulse with secrets, stories waiting to escape. A soft rustle caught her attention, and she realized Clara had begun to flip through the journal, her fingers delicately tracing the pages like they were fragile artifacts. "What are you reading?" Lucy asked, her curiosity edging out the fear. Clara glanced up, a glimmer of nostalgia in her eyes. "I'm not sure yet. These entries are from your great-grandma. She wrote about life, love, and loss. It may help us understand our family better, even the parts we don't want to face." "Can you read some?" Emily asked, her earlier apprehension taking a back seat to intrigue. Clara nodded and began to read aloud, her voice filling the room with a cadence that felt timeless. As she spoke of the struggles and joys of their ancestors, Lucy watched her sister's expression shift from skepticism to wonder. It was like a bridge connecting them to a past they had almost forgotten. Suddenly, footsteps echoed from the back door, and Lucy's heart leaped with both fear and hope. Grandpa stood in the doorway, his face alight but shadowed by something behind him. "Grandpa!" Lucy called out, the word tumbling from her lips. A quiet smile broke on his face as he stepped aside, revealing a young boy behind him, clothes tattered but eyes bright. A boy who bore an uncanny resemblance to their family, yet was a complete stranger. Who is he?" Emily gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "I found him outside," Grandpa explained, his voice measured. "He says he has something for us. Something important." Lucy's heart raced anew, now a tempest of confusion and excitement. "What does he mean?" The boy shifted nervously, clutching something tightly in his small hands. "Please, I can explain everything." Lucy felt the gravity of the moment as she exchanged glances with each family member. Here, woven through the fabric of their family history, was a new thread waiting to be unraveled. "Is this why we needed to hear those stories?" she thought. Her older sister nodded, both apprehensive and curious. I guess we're about to find out. As the boy took a small step forward, the walls of their family began to close in around them. Would this new revelation heal old wounds? Or would it open a chasm that could never be mended? Whatever lay ahead, Lucy felt the edges of her heart sharpen, ready to confront whatever truth this stranger carried. Would they be brave enough to listen? The boy stood hesitantly in the doorway, an echo of nerves palpable in the air, yet a spark of bravery flickered within his vibrant eyes. Lucy's heart raced. Questions raced through her head like wildfire. Who was he? What could he possibly have to share that would connect him to their family? Hi, the boy started, his voice small yet clear. My name is Sam. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other, still clutching something tightly in his hands. Why were you outside? Bella asked, her youthful curiosity unrestrained. I have something important, Sam stammered, glancing nervously at Grandpa before ominously continuing. It's about your family. Lucy felt the tension amplify, the moment swelling with unwrapped anticipation. She noticed Clara laying the journal aside, her focus now fully on the boy. What do you mean, Sam? Emily was the first to break the silence, a hint of skepticism roiling beneath her words. It's all connected to the locket, Sam said, his gaze darting down to the gleaming piece of family history Bella was still holding. Connected how? Lucy demanded, pushing against her own uneasiness, eager to grasp any thread of explanation. Sam took a deep breath, the weight of what he was carrying pressing heavily on him. My mom said the locket belonged to your great-grandma. It was passed down through generations, but not everyone knew what was inside. What's inside? Bella exclaimed, her wide eyes shining with wonder. Not just pictures but a letter too, Sam replied softly. A letter that reveals a part of your family's past that has been hidden for a long time. The room fell into a thick silence again, but this time it was filled with a hint of awe. The importance of the moment sank deep. Why do you have it? Clara asked, her tone a blend of authority and curiosity. Because, Sam said, the words tumbling out before he had a chance to stop himself. I'm connected to your family. I learned about it when I found out my mom was sick and it turned out she was related to your great-grandma. Lucy felt as if she had been struck by lightning. Related how? Sam opened his hands, revealing a folded, yellowed letter. This letter explains everything. Tells about family ties, about love, and the losses that we've all suffered. My mom told me to find you, to share what's been lost, and what hasn't been forgotten. Tension anymore seemed too heavy to bear. The pulsing energy in the room shifted as Lucy stepped forward, eyes locked onto the letter. Can we see it? Tentatively, Sam unfurled the letter and held it aloft, a whisper of wind rustling through the remnants of its once safe shape. Read it, Grandpa urged, the warmth of his gaze drawing them all closer together, as it always had. With a careful sweep of his thumb, Sam smoothed out the edges and began to read aloud. Each word wove through the room, piercing the veil of silence. The letter spoke of family connections that stretched back generations, of bonds unbroken by distance or silence. It recounted tales of joy, resilience, and the intertwining fates of their families, showcasing the deep love once shared. As Sam read, Lucy's heart swelled, absorbing every syllable. She saw the reactions of her family. Emily's eyes glistened, and she stepped forward, reaching out for the boy's shoulder as if to share in his courage. Bella's innocent face expressed wonder, a child's belief in magic and connection wasn't lost, even in turbulent times. You see, Sam continued, his voice gaining strength, we share blood but also stories. Stories that define us, that bring us together, no matter the distance. As he finished reading the letter, silence wrapped around them again. But this time, it was different. A sense of understanding had settled in, quiet yet affirming. Lucy's heart raced not with fear, but with an overwhelming sense of hope. Grandpa spoke first, his voice steady. You've brought something precious back to us, Sam. Thank you. Tears glistened in Emily's eyes as she chimed in. We might not know everything about each other, but we're family. We stand together. That's what matters. The warmth of family enveloped them, the shared legacy of laughter and stories sweeping away the shadows that had lingered for too long. Lucy glanced at Bella, whose smile radiated joy. In the spirit of that moment, Lucy reached for the heart of the family, the locket, the shared legacy, bringing with it the weight of the past and the promise of the future. Sam looked up at everyone, his small frame brimming with newfound confidence. "So, can we be a family? Together? Always," Lucy vowed, feeling the pulse of unity dance through the air, intertwining them all. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden rays that filtered through the windows, Lucy knew this wasn't an end, it was a new beginning. Embracing stories and love, they navigate whatever lay ahead together, whole and radiant, like the sunrise after the darkest of storms. So, don't wait another moment. You need to subscribe now to catch these exclusive stories. Leave a like now to support the channel and feed the algorithm. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this incredible ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation in family bonds. This is the moment to show your support.